Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something that's, well, totally changed how businesses reach out and connect with us. We're talking about the massive impact of technology on marketing. Our goal today is really to pull out the most important, maybe even surprising stuff from the sources we looked at, giving you a quick way to get smart on this because, marketing isn't just about those static ads anymore. It's super dynamic, constantly evolving with tech.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing how fast it's all shifted, from those broad, kind of one-size-fits-all campaigns to these incredibly precise, data-driven interactions we see now. We'll explore how different technologies are driving all this, offering insights into things you probably see every day.
Absolutely. And when we talk about big shifts, our sources really point to social media advertising as maybe the most significant change for businesses. Think about like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, blogs, podcasts, all these places online where people connect instantly. Businesses quickly figured out how to use this, right? To connect with customers, suppliers, even the wider world. And the huge advantage the sources highlight, it's relatively cheap compared to old school methods. Plus, it's easy to use and monitor. You can track likes, website hits, purchases linked from posts, that kind of thing.
Right, and what's fascinating here is there's a subtle difference between just social media advertising, paying for ads, and what's called social media marketing.
Hmm.
That often involves influencers. These are people who kind of align themselves with businesses or products. They use their own social media presence to promote, well, themselves and the brand, and it's a huge business. I mean, influencers can apparently get paid up to $50,000 for just one post or an Instagram story.
Wow, 50,000.
Yeah. But the critical thing here, the real insight, is about control, or maybe the lack of it sometimes. Businesses don't always control the conversation online. You've got bloggers, commentators. They can freely discuss, review, criticize, even ridicule a product. So that viral reach, it can cut both ways. It can become a big brand risk, too.
That control issue is a really key point. It definitely changes the dynamic. But what about something more established, like email marketing? Is that still kicking?
Businesses are still collecting our email addresses,
Yeah.
right? In stores, online,
Yeah.
sending out promotions, updates, the idea being to keep the business, top of mind. It's true, email marketing is still around, but its role has definitely shifted a bit. The thing is, while social media is great for broad discovery and quick hits, email, well, it has its challenges, getting caught in spam filters, people having to actively unsubscribe, but it's still seen as this direct kind of consent-based channel. Good for building loyalty, maybe a deeper relationship. It's less about sheer volume now, maybe more about the quality of that connection. Plus, its effectiveness can be harder to track in real time compared to social media clicks and likes. So measuring its value is different.
Okay, that makes sense. So different tools for different jobs, almost. And speaking of getting discovered, a huge part of that, maybe even before social media sometimes, is search. We're talking search engine optimization, SEO. For a business, this is all about tweaking their website to show up higher when people search for stuff online. More visibility, more customers.
Exactly. And how did that work? Well, it's largely down to these things called bots, little automated programs. They crawl the web constantly, gathering information, indexing it, so search engines can rank pages when you ask a question. The key insight here isn't just about stuffing keywords onto a page anymore. It's about understanding what the user intends to find. Millions, maybe billions of searches happen every day. It's often the main way people find businesses online. So search engines are getting smarter, almost like predicting behavior, not just finding information. And yeah, better visibility, higher ranking, it directly hits the business's bottom line. It really is foundational, like the sources say, to this whole holistic marketing ecosystem.
Right.
From invisible bots crawling the web, let's jump to something that feels maybe a bit more futuristic, but it's definitely here now. Artificial intelligence, AI. Our sources define it pretty simply. Intelligence shown by machines, not humans. In marketing, AI is basically about using these smart technologies to gather data, get really deep customer insights, anticipate what customers might do next, and even make automated decisions about marketing stuff. We see simple versions all the time, right?
Right.
Like predictive text on your phone or Facebook suggesting friends.
Oh, yeah. But what's really fascinating is seeing AI integrated in more complex ways. Take the Alibaba Fashion AI store example from the sources. This is a real physical store. Alibaba used AI to completely rethink the fashion shopping experience. The key insight is how AI makes the whole journey seamless and super personalized. So for instance, products have these smart tags, RFID, sensors, they track customer preferences, even know which items you touch. Real-time data right there in the store.
So they know what you're picking up. Exactly. Then they have smart mirrors. Interactive touchscreens in the main areas and fitting rooms. They don't just show info about the item you have. They intelligently recommend other things that might go with it. And then, get this, after you try something on, staff might bring you suggested accessories or other garments based on what the AI thinks you'll like. A whole new fitting experience. It's about anticipating your next move, your next desire. And it even extends outside the store with this virtual wardrobe feature on their mobile app, showing things you tried on with more recommendations.
Wow, that's pretty wild. AI figuring out your style on the fly. And of course, all of this social media, SEO, that amazing AI store, it all runs on huge amounts of data. So let's talk about data analytics. That's basically the science of looking at raw data to figure things out, draw conclusions. A lot of it's automated now, built into algorithms. It helps businesses learn, what customers want, when they want it, where, how much, all that.
And that leads straight into the idea of management of data. Businesses see data as this incredibly valuable resource now for finding target markets, understanding needs. But the insight here is how much goes into turning that raw data into useful knowledge and doing it responsibly. You have to maintain trust. So you need things like a data custodian, someone in charge of it all, constant data maintenance, keeping it up to date, accurate, careful rules about data access, who gets to see what and why, really strong data security to prevent misuse or breaches, and crucially, data privacy, making sure customer info is kept private, not shared without permission, following the rules like Australia's Privacy Act, for example. If people don't trust you, they won't share their data. Simple as that.
Right. Okay, so what does this all mean, though? We've covered a lot, from social media's instant connections and email still hanging in there, to the hidden power of SEO, the predictive stuff AI can do, and the whole science and responsibility of managing data. It seems pretty clear technology isn't just a tool for marketing anymore. It's like the very fabric of it. It's constantly changing how businesses understand us and talk to us.
Mhm.
And all these pieces, social, email, SEO, AI, data, they don't just work alone, do they? They combine to create this really complex data-powered landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we sort of connect this to the bigger picture, this increasing sophistication, especially with data collection and AI, it means businesses aren't just reacting to what we do anymore. They're actively anticipating it, often before we even realize what we want next. That predictive power is a huge shift in how brands build relationships. It makes you wonder, how might this change what marketing even means in the next, say, 10 years? Will it move beyond just giving you what you want to maybe actively shaping what you might want next?
Hmm. That's a really powerful thought to end on. Definitely makes you think about these changes, in your own life as a consumer. And maybe for some of you as business owners trying to navigate all this. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.